Hey y'all, what's poppin'? Welcome to episode 12 of Off the Mark with Attorney Murray. I am Attorney LaConya Murray, and it's my absolute pleasure to bring you weekly music and updates from the world of pop culture from a legal view. During our time together, you will get a better understanding of complex legal matters in the fields of trademarks, copyright, patents, and business developments as we use real-world examples to break them down. We have a good one for you today, so let's get started. Today we're talking about the Purple Wonder and legend himself, Prince. As we all know, this legend understood the importance of protecting his intellectual property, and he was no stranger to defending his rights through legal action when necessary. Remember that time he sued 22 Facebook users for linking to bootleg copies of his music? He ended up dropping the lawsuit, but still, he filed the suit just because he did not like the idea of people having access to bootleg music. But he eventually, when he dropped the suit, he said he can understand fans sharing amongst themselves, but in general, Prince did not play about his intellectual property. How about that time he changed his name from Prince to a symbol as a result of a contract dispute with his label? That caused us as his fans to start referring to him as the artist formerly known as Prince until the matter resolved years later. Bottom line is this: Prince had rights, and he knew how to enforce them, which is really important when you're creating your own portfolios. It doesn't matter how many trademarks or copyrights you register if you don't take the extra step to monitor and enforce your rights. You will lose whatever rights that are granted to you through registration if you fail to keep people off your mark and off your work. Prince's propensity to protect his brand did not stop at his death. On October 15th of this year, his estate filed a trademark application for a unique shade of purple. This shade of purple was created specifically for him in 1993 by Pantone when he changed his name from Prince to the symbol. They created this color called Love Symbol Number 2, and he's been using it, like I said, since 1993. Now, this story was shared to me on Instagram by Financial Rebel, and if you have a story, just a side note, if you have a story that you want to share, you can do the same thing. You can share it to me through the DMs, or you can email them to podcast@offthemarkipsolutions.com. Anywho, so this story was shared by Financial Rebel on Instagram. And as I looked at the story and I was reading the comments, I saw a lot of comments saying they were kind of outraged and mad. Like, how can he trademark the color purple? Color is universal. Nobody should own a color. And these comments led me to really believe that people don't understand what this registration means for their use of the color purple. So let's talk about it. The owner of a registered trademark has the right to exclude others from using the same or similar mark in a same or related class. And class is what we refer to as how you use the mark. Meaning, if you register a mark for a shoe shine business, you wouldn't be able to stop someone, maybe with a few exceptions, you wouldn't be able to stop someone in the auto repair company business from using that same or similar mark. However, if there's someone that has maybe created shoe polish is related to shoe shine, therefore you would be able to prevent them from using the same and similar mark. So that's what we mean when we're talking about class. And this exclusion is to any trademark owner, whether it's a name, a logo, or in this case, color. Now, to obtain a trademark for color, you have to show that this color serves as a brand identifier. You can't just be picking colors randomly just because you like the color, and if people don't see that color and think about you. So that's what we mean about brand identifier. Someone sees that color and they think about you and the good and service that you provide. If it doesn't do that, then it's not a brand identifier. If it's not a brand identifier, then it's not a trademark. Everybody understand? So if the color is common in your industry, you will not be able to get a trademark for that color. It doesn't matter how long you've been using the color. I know Cheerios filed a trademark for the yellow that they use in their brand, and they've been using it, oh my goodness, for decades, and they were denied simply because yellow is common in the cereal industry. It's a common color. No one really sees the color yellow and think Cheerios. Now the B, on the other hand, we see the B and we think of them, but we don't think of yellow and Cheerios together. If the color does serve as a brand identifier, but it's functional, then you won't get a trademark for it. So the color must be non-functional. And what we mean by functional is if it's essential to the good or service, or if it affects the cost or quality of the good or service, then that's functional, and you won't get a trademark for it. A good example is John Deere. I see John Deere every time my husband and I go to the we go to Lowe's. Every time we go to Lowe's, we see the John Deere tractor sitting out there, and they're nice and pretty with the green and the yellow. And a lot of people think that green is trademarked, but it's not trademarked, because think about it. Green puts you in the mind of farms, grass, lawn, and that's the very thing that the product with the tractors are used for. So because there's such a direct association between the color and the use, then you wouldn't be able to get a trademark for that, or they're not able to get a trademark for that. If you think about it, Prince is not the first person or company to register a trademark, or register a U.S. trademark. UPS filed a trademark for the color brown that they use for the delivery service. Tiffany trademarked this unique shade of gray that they use in connection with their jewelry. Every lady loves to see that little blue box. Yep, I know I do. Even T-Mobile jumped into the trademarking color game when it trademarked the magenta shade of pink that it used in its advertisement. So getting a federal trademark for the things that make you stand out in business in your market is really just good business. Now, this is what you need to know for all those people that are concerned about trademarks and people owning color and things of that nature. Getting a federal trademark won't prevent regular people from using the color. So if you wanted to, I don't know, paint your nursery purple, then feel free to do that. The only thing it's going to stop are other businesses from using that color, and that's only if there's going to be a likelihood of confusion. Okay, so think about it. So there's another brand that uses color as a trademark, Cadbury, the chocolate company. They have a trademark for that color as it relates to chocolate. So this Prince registering this trademark in the field of music and entertainment is not going to prevent them from using that shade of purple. So it has to be in the same or related field, and it's not going to stop us common folks from being able to use the color purple. Okay, remember, the purpose of trademarks is to prevent consumer confusion, and that confusion is for make sure that consumers know the source of a good or a service. Okay, and then there's also a second confusion that people sometimes forget about, and that's that confusion when it comes to endorsements. What does this brand stand for? Is this brand okay or backing whatever movement, production, product that is associated with this trademark? So that's what we mean by likelihood of confusion. So if there's no likelihood of confusion, chances are there won't be any trademark infringement. So for common people, the registration of the color purple is not going to affect them. Now, if you are in business, you might be affected if there's going to be a likelihood of confusion. So listen, here are 3 takeaways from today's show. If you don't protect your mark, you will lose it. Okay, protect your mark. No, it's not enough to just register the mark. That's really just the beginning. If you are going to make the investment to register your trademark, you have to continue making the investment to monitor your mark, and we provide those monitoring services. And you want to make sure that you enforce it. And the reason you want to enforce your trademark, because over time, if there are too many people that have the same or similar mark, it's no longer seen as a brand identifier. When someone sees that trademark, they no longer think of you. If they no longer think of you, then that's not a trademark for you, and it's lost and it's gone. So the only way to make sure that that mark stays a trademark and a brand identifier for your business is to prevent other people from using the same or similar same or similar trademark. Okay. The second takeaway is, if you obtaining a registered trademark for those aspects that make you stand out in the market, it's just good for business. Like, literally it is. We want to protect, there's so many things and so many distractions and so many things calling for consumers' attention. If you have something that's making you stand out, and when people see it, they say, hey, I know that brand. Hey, I trust that brand. Hey, I want to spend money with that brand. Protect it. Okay. The third thing is Prince's registration of that unique shade of purple that was, by the way, created specifically for him would not prevent us regular people from using the color purple in our normal personal lives. All right, so those are our 3 top takeaways. There was something else I was going to talk about today. The state is bringing a lawsuit against the owner of Prince.com domain, and I was going to discuss it today, but I really want to touch on one subject at a time. Today we talked about trademarks and colors. Next time we can talk about domains and cyber squatting in another episode. All right, so that's what I have for you today. I just want to take a moment to say that I am so grateful for everybody that listens to the podcast. This was really a passion project for me. I really, really enjoy helping people understand these aspects of the law that I practice using these examples, because I feel like it helps people get it. And I want you to get it. I want you to make informed decisions about your business. And so this is my way of helping you do that. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy the show, can you do me a favor? Can you take about a minute and rate the show? I don't care if you're on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher. If you could rate the podcast, I'll be really, really grateful. And remember, if you see something, say something. Share it with us in our DMs on social media or email us at podcast@offthemarkipsolutions.com. If you see a story that you want us to discuss on the podcast, if you say, hey, you know what, that's really interesting. How did they do that? How are they going to do that? What do you think the outcome of this, lawsuit is going to be? And then speaking of that, I think that maybe later on, and maybe we'll have like a special episode where we have like an update episode, because we have talked about some things. We want to know what's going on. What's the update on these cases that we've been following? So that's all I have for you all. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day and awesome week. Take care.